I don't have music tonight. Let's just go with it. Get your smiles ready, ladies. We are officially on live now.
Get your smiles ready, ladies.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. On
Live. Get your smiles ready, ladies.
Okay. Okay. I'm learning how to do this. Hello, beautifuls. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
I am so excited tonight. Like every Tuesday, I'm excited because this panel brings some of the most dynamic topics and information. And I don't know who'd be more excited, me or Reverend Robinson, who is on the backside. We just love these conversations, but we have such an awesome topic tonight. But I'm gonna introduce myself and then I'm gonna let the speaker handle her business. I'll tell y'all what we're gonna talk about. But I want to welcome everybody that has tuned in to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. And someone asked me today, why do you call it Let's Talk About It? Because we're free to talk about whatever we need to talk about to help anybody that's in need. We take questions. We try to help people with the topics that will help them in their business and not just business, but in their life in general. So why not talk about it? There are things that we need to talk about. So tonight, we're going to do another episode of Let's Talk About It Tuesday. I am Dr. Suzette Robinson. I reside in Alabama, Birmingham to be exact. I am a trichologist. I am a certifier, and I am the CEO of P2P Certification and Training Institute, along with WIGS by Suzette Hair Replacement Center. And enough about me. You need to meet the rest of this panel. You ladies, take it away.
Good afternoon. Welcome once again to Let's Talk About It on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I am Marguerite Moten. I am the owner of Amore Hair Studio. I'm your certified hair loss practitioner in your Fredericksburg area.
All right, good evening and welcome to another week. I'm excited to be here on the panel. My name is Shanae Starnes and I am a licensed cosmetologist, educator, trichologist, as well as I'm going to bring to the forefront. I also conduct free educational workshops on Medicare as well as healthcare. I'm a licensed health insurance agent out of North Carolina and I'm in several states. But listen, tonight's topic is going to be amazing. So thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Pamela Hill, located in the Fredericksburg area. I am your board certified trichologist, instructor, and salon owner. Welcome to our call tonight. So we're gonna go right in. This topic here, and I believe that we all have dealt or know people that have been dealing with it. The question is, do people have an obligation to help others, or should people be responsible for just helping themselves? And I like this topic because I've dealt with this a lot because I'm a giver. But then sometimes when you give so much and then you get burnt, you don't want to give anymore. And I find myself running through, you know what, I'm not helping her no more. We can't be friends. We get not doing this. I found myself being that way. But it was hard for me to try to be that way because I'm really not. So when you try to do something that you know that you're not, it's very difficult. So now I think I still help people, but it's in a different format. So, you know, I really look at the different things that's going on, and it might just be advice that I might give, not really financial, you know, so it just depends on things that people need help with. So I wanted to just talk about this topic because even with helping people, a lot of people feel that they are spiritually obligated, and a lot of people feel that they're not obligated at all. You know, so that's the question I wanted to bring to the table on, do you really feel that it's the obligation for you or anyone, not just you, for anyone to actually help others? because obligation meaning that's a powerful word,
It really is.
meaning that you obligated for someone, not we're not outside, abroad. So we can go on and on and on, and I want to touch some other things on this topic. So I want to put it out there. Do you feel that is obligation to actually help others, or do you feel that you should just be responsible for helping yourselves? Who would like to start?
Wait.
Don't all speak at
I
once.
know.
Okay,
You want to go, Shanae?
Because it's
All
a
right.
tough one. It's
Right.
really a tough one, because you want to, when you say obligated, it's.
Yeah, that's something.
So go ahead, Shanae.
I was just gonna say that can be something personal. That's a personal. You think about, see, people feel obligated due to their morals. And so morals step in. Some people feel obligated because it's something that's like something legal. So I would think that using the word being, you're obligated, it's a self reflection type thing. And I feel like in order for someone to even have the capacity to want to be there for others outside of themselves is a lot of growth. And I do believe that it is a part of our obligation as humans to do that. We do it automatically with raising children. We do it automatically when we are there for, if we don't have children, we're there in our community. So it is something that has to be fired off in the inside, but I'm going to share later some steps on how to get there, because some people don't understand that there's some things that need to be fulfilled before they can recognize that it's an obligation for them. They may not feel that obligation, but there's some reasons as to why they may not feel that obligation. So yeah, I do believe that we are obligated to help others. And it's also an obligation for us to be responsible for helping ourselves. That's self-efficacy. That is dealing with improvement and self-development of ourselves in order to pull our own bootstraps up, so that when we help us, then we go back and we help others. So that's how I will start this conversation off. And who else would like to add to that?
And before anybody else adding, I was going to touch on that with actually, individual having a moral obligation to assist people in need. And then another one was going to also be what is self-responsibility, far as having that, obligation. Because again, obligation is a meaningful word, to use for someone to say, okay, you actually are obligated to, help this person. Right. Far as family and our kids, once a kid is born, you are obligated, because that kid is, cannot do anything. So you have to help them, you have to feed them, you have to change them. And then it jumps up to even when someone is older, that might have dementia or have something. So far as, and that's why I said abroad, far as it being personal, far as kids and parents and family members, I do feel that you're obligated. But now we're talking outside of that, because a lot of times people feel that where you live at, that you're obligated to help them because you in a ritzy area, or what type of job you have. They feel that you're obligated to help them because of the type of money that you make. So are we actually really obligated in a sense to help people that really don't need to be helped?
Now, oh, sorry. You want to say something?
Now, I was just gonna say, like, when you look at that word obligation, I think back on, it's pretty much it's a heart thing. It could be a heart thing, because if you think about it, it's all about you and your heart desire and what you want to do. And yes, I'm going back on as a kid. Yes, when a child is born in this world, yeah, you're obligated to take care of them. But when the scripture tells us to train up a child in the way that he should go and he should not depart from it. So when the kid, a person that's close and dear to you as a child, when they grow old, we're really not obligated to help. But if it's our heart desire, it's all about our heart and what our heart feels, and and the type of person we are. Are we a giving person? If we're a giving person, of course, we're gonna feel obligated to do certain things for people, and when actually put ourselves to the side in some cases.
Right.
Well,
And then that's what, like Shanae said, that's when morals come in,
right.
because having morals is, having a standard behavior or beliefs
Yeah.
that you feel that, that people have. Go ahead, Dr. Suzette.
I want to just add this. I love everything. I mean, and this is probably good. It's amazing how you can have a topic, and you begin to talk about it, and you see yourself in it, and this is what I see when it comes to obligation. Since that is a very effective and strong word, it can be used negatively and it can be used positively. But as
Right.
you all were bringing out about our children, at a certain point in life, when we're rearing them, we are obligated to be parents, to teach them how to be obligated to grow up and become adults. Okay. I like that. But I'm saying that for this reason, because sometimes we go overboard with obligation. We take it upon ourselves to feel like we're responsible. See, you got all these powerful words that you're using tonight. We feel responsible for them. But there is a time and a place, even when we're helping people with our kind hearts, our loving affection, reasoning, and upbringing, there is a time when you've got to know you need to be obligated to say no. Okay? I'm talking to myself, I'm preaching to me. You've got to learn to say. And so I like what you're saying, because in order to receive this, anybody that's listening, it's going to require that you have to open up and allow yourself to grow. Because some people can't digest what we're talking about tonight, because they feel obligated. And obligation will put you in a dangerous position. Your health will be at risk. Anything you obligated or you feel like you're obligated to do, and it's putting you in harm's way, you're depressed. Some tells me, or your body should tell you, that's wrong. Okay. And so I think with this is a great word that you're using tonight, but like I said, it's twofold. It can be negative, it can be used negatively, and it can be used positive.
Right. And then what you just saying that too, it took a lot. And like I said, I came up with this topic because I've dealt with that. So, having friends or even having family to where, okay, I was the type of person, if I got it, you got it, but then again, after a while, you're doing it so much, you had that little person in like, okay, hey, yo, sister, I need you to back up now. Now you're taking advantage, because you can help somebody so much to where they continue to take advantage of you, and they still not doing what needs to be done for them to get where they need to be. So again, like you said, it can be good, and then it can be bad. So, and then that's when I feel that self-responsibility comes in play. When you having self-responsibility, that's another word, responsibility. A lot of people don't take responsibility like it should be, and you're obligated. When you have responsibility, you have a decision, you make your own decision on doing things. As my mother used to say, you made your bed, you have to lie in it. So if you decided to do X, Y, Z, and then X, Y, Z didn't go the way that you wanted to go because you didn't do it correctly, that was your decision. You can't blame anybody else for that. And then you can't get mad and feel that they're obligated to help you when you didn't fail, because that was the decision that you made. So then that's when you put blame on other people because of your decision that you made. I've dealt with that. Now, I think we all have dealt with that within our lives. Even having friends or family or co-workers or whatever, they didn't made a decision and did something, but they mad at you because you didn't stop them from making that decision. They putting the blame on you. Like, well, you was obligated to do. No, I was not. You make your own decisions. You entitled to make your own decisions. It's not my fault that you did X, Y, Z. You know, so this topic here, like I said, I know it probably touched,
Yeah.
like I said, I grow and learn how to not just be like, okay, you know, I'm not helping nobody else no more. You know, I was that way at one point.
Yeah.
You know, so it takes a lot. So far as morals,
Mhm.
which is another word, you know, a lot of people have them, a lot of people don't.
True.
What is your take on having you know, morals? Because there's a lot that you can touch on that. You know, to have morals, you got to be honest to yourself. You got to be truthful. You know, it's so many different things, you know, when it comes to having morals. So have y'all ever dealt with anything? Well, not anything, anybody that you was maybe close to? It could have been a family member, anybody that, you know, you just had to sit down and be like, okay, you know what, your morals is not up to par, and I might need to just separate myself,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, from it.
Yes. Yes. You know, Dr.
So Dr. Rashawn, since you just came in,
Most. Hey, Dr.
I'm going to ask you about that.
Hey, well, good evening, everybody. So I'm listening, and to that question, I was trying to think to myself, have I come across that type of specific situation? And right off, I can't think of a situation where I really thought, that someone's morals are, say, not intact or not up to par. And I think because this is kind of tricky when you think about that, because then you start thinking about judgment, and you're slightly judging their morals against your own, because your own are your own, like, I guess, bar of standard. So
Right.
when you look at someone and you say, okay, well, your morals are not correct, what are you measuring them against? Typically your own.
Yeah.
And one of the things that over the years I have, or I'll say it has been brought to my attention, is that, my friends will always tell me, you have to be careful because you often expect people to be where you are. And that is just not the case, right? So I look at things and I say, yes, if you show me that you are, or you repeatedly create situations that may put you in a detrimental position, I understand that your thinking may be slightly askew, which I
Mhm.
guess you can attribute to their morals. It could be attributed to a lot of things. But if it doesn't, if your situations that you create or you find yourself in constantly are in direct conflict to how I live my life or how I decide I want things to go in my life, then I realize, okay, I have to separate myself, because we can't grow and walk on a path together, and I can't allow the things that you create or situations you create to become a detriment to me, to knock me off of what I'm trying to do.
That's good.
So, I know that was a lot, but that's kind of like my thinking of it. And I often, as just to bring it back out, I don't think I really consider people, to have bad morals, because I'm afraid to go down that path of really judging them for who they are, and because I'm judging them against who I am.
Mhm.
That's good. That's really good. Can I say something? I'm glad, Dr. Rashad.
Yes.
How you doing, first of all?
I'm doing okay.
Am I on time today?
You on time, but I am not. I tell you, I am worn out.
Yeah,
But
I believe you. A lot has been said. I love what Dr. Rashad just said, but I think when we're dealing with people and it's a moral issue, quite naturally, even with I'm gonna use in my house, my kids.
Mhm.
Well, I raised them all with some morals that has been established in my family.
Mhm.
Okay. That does not mean
Mhm.
that everybody's gonna live to that expectation.
Mhm.
I'm finding that out. But when it comes to if I've got to compromise my morals to be with, and these are my children,
Mhm.
with my kids, then there's going to be a separation, but I'm not going to kick them out, but I do have a limitation on how far I will go with them.
Mhm.
So I understand what you're saying, Rashad, because a lot of times when you're around people and their morals are compromised or they just, what we call, they acting out of character, sometimes I check myself.
Mhm.
I really do. Before I say anything to them, I honestly check myself because I have been wrong in my approach to people, even my children, because I thought they should have been here and I found out I wasn't even where I thought I was. Okay, so it can ricochet like a boomerang because a lot of times we have to check our own morals. Now I'm like this, I'm not going to change my morals for you
Mhm.
if I'm doing right. Now get me right, hear me good, because sometimes we think we right and we be wrong. So it's like it's a teachable moment. Even and I think God allows us to be around people out of character. Jesus was. So my point is that sometimes you're around these people, family members and children, to show you. It's not always them that he wants you to see. It's some things. What really irritates me, you see what I'm saying? Some
Mhm.
things they do really irritate me, don't bother my husband at all. Because he's not gonna change his demeanor for them. He gonna say what he gonna say. Well, me on the other end, I want everybody to change in the house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning. I'm definitely learning that that's not how it goes. So morally, you check yourself. Make sure you're doing what's right. It don't matter if they're not doing what's right. You maintain good character at all costs. That's sometimes how people are going to learn, by watching you.
Mhm.
Yeah. My son said, mm-hmm.
So I had I had a few just like bullet points that I wanted to ask, and I know a lot of them I've dealt with, and I was just wondering if y'all dealt with any of these, and it has to do with actually having morals, because as we grow up and mature, we look at things differently. So I had always tell the truth, have courage, keep your promise, do not cheat, treat others as you want to be treated,
Yeah.
do not judge, as Dr. Todd said, be dependable, be forgiving. That's one that I struggle with. Having integrity, taking responsibility for your actions. That's what we just, talked about. Having patience, being loyal. So I know there's a few that we probably all have, or if not all,
Yes. Yes.
dealt with, and we've learned how to deal with it better, meaning that we matured and understand, what it meant to, always tell the truth, or, have courage. A lot of us, like I already know Marguerite, she's have courage because she would never want to be in the forefront, so that's something that she's worked on, and I commend her, and I'm happy, for her actually doing that. So I know there's a few others on here. Like I said, I know it's a few of them, if not all of them, that I didn't struggle with personally, and I've learned how to, understand it better, the older I got.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pose that question to y'all.
Hmm.
Say the
I
question
know
over
I'm digging
again.
in some dirt. I
Ask the
know
question.
I'm digging in some dirt. So I was saying, far as having morals, this was some of the little bullet points that I put down as far as having, having morals. So I was saying, always telling the truth, keeping your promise, keeping your promise, having courage, do not cheat, treat others as you want to be treated. Don't judge, be dependable, be forgiving for your actions, have patience, and be loyal.
Mhm.
Any of those
All
things
right.
have you struggled with
Definitely. So one of the ones
prior
that,
or even now? And are you coping or dealing with it?
all right. So I was gonna say,
You there? Okay.
even, till today, to this day, I've gotten better at showing up. See, people lose respect when you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it. Even if it's a phone call, someone invites you somewhere and you know that you told them you were coming, but something came up, or you just did not want to go, and you contact them after the event. Like I'm very intentional about trying to correct things that I probably in the past would not have corrected on the forefront. That takes growth. So that's why you hear me say, show up, speak up, and win, because that means that you're trying to be mindful of the things that has hurt you. So why repeat those when it comes to development? And what happens is there's a bunch of people like you that are developing. And so what happens is you start being the sum of the very 5 people that you're around. And in the developmental stage, when you're growing to correct some of these things, like, showing up on time, having a level of integrity, developing principles. As a young woman, I did not have principles. Being promiscuous as a young woman. I'm looking at these 6th graders and I'm looking at a bunch of principles that just weren't there. And I said, well, daggone it, I think that was me. So as I've become older, having levels of principles, being determined about showing up has really helped me when it comes to people relying on me. And those are relationships, like I said, that help you ascend to other good relationships, because not everybody is working on themselves. People don't care. They're I'm not going to say people in general, but some people haven't understood that there is a level of development that could literally change your life personally, and it will definitely transcend over to your business and catapult your business. Even if the people that you're dealing with have no earthly idea about what development looks like, it's not about them, it's about you living with you. And so those are the 2 areas, is really, getting good at showing up and setting some principles for myself, which includes some non-negotiables. Non-negotiables meaning that, once I develop a relationship, or I try to feel out people. If their mindset, the way they speak, there's indicators that people give us all the time that will let me know if I want to continue to be around them, do business with them. I've gotten to that place, but it didn't take a short period of time. It took intentional work. It took reading self-development books. It took listening to self-development seminars and things of that nature to realize that there's another way to think about handling myself in order to change the things that I needed to change. Because if not, honey, I'd be a plumb mess and probably wouldn't be making the money that I like to make, or even set goals and feel confident enough to make them, So good question.
That is
You know
good.
what? I
Can I read?
definitely have to say that, Shanae, that was
Okay, so I'm gonna
really
ask one more.
good,
Okay.
because you actually brought a lot of things full circle, and especially when you talked about treating people how you want to be treated, and how, you before it was mentioned when I spoke about the judging people. What you just hit on is getting people, or how people can see the difference by your behavior, right? So when you say, if you have an event that you may have, say, just not shown up for somebody in the past and just said, oh, well, it's okay. Or it was going to be 50 people there. They didn't know I wasn't there, right? And so you decide just to kind of sweep it under the rug. But then when it happens to you, then you become
Yes.
like really upset by it.
Yes.
So you have corrected those behaviors to at least say, well, let me reach out to the person, which I think is great, because then you kind of show that person that if they want to do, if that were to happen in their situation, that they should also, you know, try to correct the behavior by saying, hey, I wasn't able to come, but, you know, I'm glad you had a great time, whatever it is that you're going to say, but at least to reach out. And so I think that definitely does provide a mirror look for a lot of people to correct their own behavior. So I thought that was really instrumental and valuable that you brought that out.
Can I read one comment
Okay.
from a viewer?
Mhm.
Terry Davis, she's on here every time we're on. And Terry, I God knows, she know how I feel about her. But she made a statement I think is worth hearing. She says, some don't know how or where to seek help. They become comfortable in their space and fear the unknown. Share that which we learn and don't forget from which we came or had challenges. I thought that was really good because a lot of times we do forget. A lot of times we look at where we are now. We forget we were those people. We were in that place. That's why it's not good to judge people. Sometimes if you judge them, you'll find yourself in that same spot.
Mm-hmm.
I like what Shanae said about people. I know I'm learning integrity because I'll tell you, yeah, I'll be knowing I'm not coming, or I have overloaded my plate and I can't come. So now I'm honest with people. If I'm available, I will do my very best to get there, or to just plain old say, listen, Sunday's my day of rest. After service, I know I'm gonna be at home. I'll come to some other, just kind of let people know where you are, because we're in position now where we want people to come to things we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we reap what we sow.
And we have no control on how they feel when you share that news with them. I had to accept that too. I'm only in control of what I need to do to satisfy my end. Now, if they're upset because you're not coming and for whatever the reason, you don't have any control over that, and be okay with it, you know, and move forward. But as long as you have not, that saying, you know, don't burn bridges, it resonates with me. It really resonated with me. And I tried to figure out as a younger person, you know, how do you do that? It's with integrity. You say what you got to say and move on. But it took development, like the viewer said, in order to do that. And that's a level of self-actualization and
Yes.
putting you first and saying no to others, you know, that you can't do something, you know.
This is good.
Right. Okay. So like I said, this topic here, we can go on and on and on. And there was so many other things that, you know, I wanted to touch on. We can't touch on, but we always come back to it again. And then still, you know, the question again is, do people have an obligation to help others, or should people be responsible for helping themselves? It comes down to why. Why are you helping? You know, it's always a right reason, is always a wrong reason. But it comes down to, again, morals. So I just want to thank everybody for actually tuning in and coming out. Before I actually close out, I would like Dr. Rashad, I know he came in late, but I would like for you to introduce yourself and tell them where you're at before we close out. And
Good.
Sure. Yes, and please forgive my tardiness for arriving late today. I don't know.
you look, I don't have my fan, because I'll be like,
And it's okay because I will wear it today. Dr. Suzette and I have been enjoying our national conference this week.
yes.
And it has been my extreme pleasure to work the tech board for them this week, but it is very taxing and it is quite exhausting. looking at a screen with a magnifying glass all day long and just watching everything. But I definitely have to say, it kind of played into what you said, Dr. Suzette, to have the integrity. It is something that I have committed myself to some years ago, that, I was going to place my time at least for 1 week out of the year to ensuring the success as much as I possibly could for our institute. And that's what I do. And so even though it does wear me out, and Lord knows when we're on site, it's very exhausting, but it's where my heart, and that's where I lay my integrity to make sure that I, like you did say, Shanae, show up, and, and I do that as much as I can every day, but it has worn me out. So all that said, forgive my tardiness, but my name is Dr. Rashawn Broadnax, and I'm here in the Washington, D.C. area. I am a hair extension specialist, I call myself. I'm a certified surgical hair replacement specialist. I'm just a lover of all hair extension items, and just the thing, it does a wonderful world for somebody when they aren't able to grow hair and you are able to give them hair. The light that you see light up in them just does something for me. So I love that transfer, and that's why I do what I do. So I'm here again in the Washington, D.C. area, located in Northwest Washington, D.C. And thank you so much for that time, Dr. Hill.
Not a problem. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And Dr. Suzette, you want me to do the sponsors, or you want to do the sponsors?
You know what? I'm tired like Dr. B. You can handle it. You know what to do. Love this. This is wonderful. But let me
All right.
Pam, let me say this before you say anything. I am so elated to have each of you as part of Let's Talk About It Tuesday. Each Tuesday gets better and better and better. And I'm excited. I didn't care how tired I was today, Dr. Rashad. I was gonna make it, and Dr. Rashad made sure he told me, be on time. So Pam, this was great. I got to say this to you. This topic is so good. And I know you didn't hit half of what you had to talk about. So if you need to come back and do a part 2, hey, we open for it, because I want to do something different with this, especially with this topic that you have. I do want to invite some people to call in that are dealing with situations, so that their questions can be answered. So I will work on that, getting that set up for next week. But this panel is a God-given panel. I did not choose them. God brought them here. And I ain't ashamed to tell nobody that God placed them here, because each one is like a piece of the puzzle. And so hats off to all of you. And I'm learning, you don't wait until tell people that you appreciate them when they can't hear you. Y'all hear me?
Yes.
I appreciate, I'm saying through the mic, I appreciate each one of you. You mean a lot to me, because you add life to me. Okay, now Pam, it's on you.
All right. Well, I thank you all to this every week, talking with you guys on and off. Let's talk about it. So I want to thank our sponsors, Isabel Graphics, Pretty Gloss Princess, and of course my brother, Kingdom Ministries. Kingdom Dominion. No, what is it? Kingdom Dominion Ministries. And then the Beauty Supply, Platinum Beauty Supply. And then I would like for you to actually go on to our YouTube page, P2P BHAM. Please subscribe. Hit the like, hit the hearts. Please. And we will see you next week. Same time, same channel. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Live.